Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone out there. Uh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for, oh my gosh.
It's okay. It's okay.
Thank you for having us.
Indeed. We're happy to be here.
Thank you. So today is our first interview that we're having. So we're experimenting now since COVID-19. So today we have two special guests with us joining us, and Kimberly and Jermaine with AES Literacy Institute. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
How are y'all doing today?
Oh, wonderful. It feels great outside, and we just love to be here. Thank you for having us.
Great. Well, so today, what we wanted to share with our viewers today is creating some awareness about digital inclusion, specifically now during COVID-19. And so I'd like to have a conversation with you guys about how this has impacted your organization. But before we get there, tell us a little bit about AES Literacy Institute.
Oh, sure. No problem. AES Literacy Institute was founded in 2019. We are here to help the adult education process. Specifically, we focus on individuals between the ages of 17 and 35 that didn't have the opportunity to graduate high school. We offer them an alternative 3 to 6 month program that allows them to earn their Texas Certificate of High School Equivalency, which we all know as formerly the GED. We are the only organization within the DFW that offers official equivalency exam prep as well as official equivalency exam testing at one location.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. Oh, a quick reminder to our viewers, North Texas Giving Day is coming up on Thursday, September the 17th. Be sure to visit North Texas Giving Day website, and you can search for the Cardboard Project, and you can support us there. And you can also make a donation. And Kimberly, can you tell us a little bit how they can find you on for North Texas Giving Day?
Absolutely. We need your support, both the Cardboard Project and AES Literacy Institute. So if you can, please visit North Texas Giving Day and Google search the Cardboard Project, or Google search AES Ali, ALI, or you can just put that into the browser, North Texas Giving Day /AES ALI with Singing Bumblebee.
Fantastic. So, last week we were having a conversation about digital inclusion and about the digital divide, and how COVID-19 has really put a spotlight, a lens on the lack of connectivity, the lack of devices, lack of digital skills, which is more and more so important more today than ever before. So can you share a little bit about how the digital divide has impacted your organization?
Absolutely. The digital divide is, first, I will say, very real. Even though it seems like a word that we've just heard of starting 2020, it's been in existence way before now. In a sense, I'm a little, appreciative of COVID for bringing light to this situation, because 42% of, African Americans within our community don't have internet access, as well as other families. So it is very important that we're able to stay connected and get these people connected. 80% of job opportunities are placed online now. So without devices and or internet access, then we have a major gap that needs to be filled here for both the children and the adults as well. And as far as our organization, we do adult education, and due to COVID, we can't do in-person learning. So we have a great barrier there for students who want to learn, but they don't have the technology that's needed to take care of the educational resources that they want to do. So it's a real problem, and I'm grateful for the Cardboard Project and being able to step out here and address these issues.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yes, I've also noticed that Dallas is, I think, ranks number 6 in Texas with
Mhm.
for urban families without internet, and that was very alarming to me as well. So I think this is a great conversation for us to have. And Jermaine, I know you had mentioned how I believe in school or your upbringing. What was the digital divide there for you? How did that impact your life growing up?
Okay, well, the digital divide, it really divided where I live and the rest of the world, because there was, and this was back in 1998. So there hasn't been no digital connection since 1998.
Wow.
I was a
Wow.
senior in high school at 17 years old. I had one class about computers, which I had to do homework and bring back the floppy disk, but I didn't have a computer, or did I have no connection to a computer. So that class for me, as well as everyone else in that high school, failed. So the digital divide is such a big thing that we need to close the gap into that, because I'm now 39 years old and I'm just getting connected to the internet. I typed with
Wow.
one hand, I searched slow. I didn't have it like everybody else had it. So if that connection was there, it would have been a lot more successful people in the area that I came from.
That's good.
What about you, Kimberly? How has that impacted you?
Well, I come from the other side of the table, so we like to consider ourselves the yin and the yang.
Mhm.
I had access to computers and internets. I actually had my own computer growing up. So I am very educated in the realm of computer technology. And so it plays a major part, and I'm happy to have that experience to be able to share that knowledge with those who need that information. Because he's talking about 1999. Well, if you hear him type now, you wouldn't know, because I think he can out-type me.
Yes. But the question was, how did the digital divide? So I didn't have any connection. So I was way behind for about 20 years until now. 20 years, I like a dinosaur.
We had dinosaur computers back then. So.
And now we didn't even have that. We just had a concrete plat.
Yes. So the digital divide on my side, I can't necessarily say I was divided. I was lucky enough to be included on that side of technology. And being included, you kind of take it for granted, because I didn't understand that there was such a thing as a digital divide. So when he tells me his stories about his childhood, it's amazing to me, because our households were so unparalleled. So just to know that this problem does exist in the world, it was a major eye-opener.
And not just only the digital divide, we also grew up without cable. Not because we couldn't afford it, there was no cable connections.
Right.
So if there was no cable connection, you also didn't have internet. So we watched videotapes
Over and over.
Oh,
all
wow.
through my high school year, 94 through 1998. There was not even cable connections. So no internet and no cable. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
looking back now like, wow, where was I?
So, and then today, like in South Dallas and particularly, what's your thought about connectivity? Do you think a lot of this is does it come down to affordability, or do you think there's just quite a bit of digital deserts that are out there with no cable or access? What is that?
I believe exactly what you said. It's a digital desert.
Mm.
If you can make it affordable in any kind of way, they will get it, because the children and the parents need it. But it is a desert. There's no connection. There's no one there to access or offer the connection. So if they had it, they will be able to connect to the rest of the world, and we'll have a better world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In my opinion, to echo off of Mr. Cooper here, I totally agree. And another thing, I feel like it's a lack of education. I feel like parents and adults didn't take having access to technology and internet service as crucial as it is, because just transparency moment, just in our lives, just on a daily, we're doing so much. And if your life is going a certain type of way for so long, then it becomes custom. So it's just pretty much operating just out of self, and that. Now, with COVID-19 happening, it shut the schools down. So where you didn't necessarily have cause for concern for lack of internet and or a computer at home, it didn't really matter because your kids went to school every day. Well, now that you can't go to school every day, it shows a significant need that everyone needs to have this technology in their home, regardless of if the kids go to school or they don't go to school. This is the way that the world is going now.
And one of the things that also that comes to mind is families and multi-generational families in one household, or having, a large family and having to share one device. I just can't even imagine what that would look like. Do you have any experiences or stories that you may share about that?
I can just tell you it doesn't work.
Well, yeah.
if you have 3 kids in the house, and let's just say 4th grade, 6th grade, and 8th grade. I mean, one device, and right now we're all doing online learning. So 2 students aren't getting the education unless you try to break it up in, an hour here, hour there.
And there are 3 families in those households because there hasn't been any digital connection. So
Right.
you have them just steady stacking because they can't reach out to nobody, because what you see is what you get. What you don't have is what you don't have. You learn to live without it. So if they can get connected, they'll go and get their own place to live, and the world will move as such. As long as we get this digital divide connected, we'll be okay. Let's connect.
I get what you're saying. Everybody has to depend on each other.
That's right.
Completely agree. That's one of the things that Cardboard Project has looked at also, is like, okay, well, if you have a connectivity, and you don't have a device, so what good is that going to do, right?
Exactly.
And then if you have the device and you have connectivity, then where's the digital skills come in? Because what good is it for you to have a device, a laptop or a desktop, and then not know how to navigate through that? How's that impacted you with digital skills, navigating?
Amazingly, it was very eye-opening, because you would think that digital skills, and again, I'm speaking from my experience and my past experience, someone who's always had a computer in front of them. So to me, as technology advances, then I advance with technology. So you just simply open the screen up and check your emails and, go over to Zoom. It's so simple to me. I have to take into account that individuals who've never sat in front of a computer, you probably don't even know where the power button is. I mean,
because I didn't,
and that's real life.
It was a lot of buttons, so I'm looking around trying to see where's the power, but not ask where's the power, because I'm such a grown adult that I know I should know. So I'm embarrassed by asking. So now I catch myself, can't find it, and I push it back, and I'm through it.
That's very true.
Wow.
That's
Yes.
true. So just along with our students, we had to take an additional week where we set up to do orientation, and we wanted to just push them right into the system. We had to slow down and take a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, just to catch them up to speed on how to check your student email every day, how to log into the program, what is the protocol to reply to an email, reply to all, forward an email. Like, all of those little intricate details play a major part in our life today. And it's very important that everybody has access to not only the technology, but the information on how to use the technology as well.
Yes, so that's where the Cardboard Project comes in with us to show them how to use that technology.
Indeed.
Yes, absolutely. There's some programs that Cardboard Project has launched, and one of them is a hotspot program, and then also we have some other partners that are teaching online digital skills, like internet safety, and how to Google for career opportunities and all of those type things. And the other thing about digital skills, I consider myself fairly tech savvy, But even in today's COVID world that we're living in right now, I'm still learning new things. Even on Zoom, trying to navigate through that has been a learning curve with that. And so I can't imagine not being able to have the digital skills. And so it's really important for us to come together and bring awareness and show the importance of having digital skills, because I think that also sets you up for your career,
Mm-hmm.
for your education,
Correct.
online certifications.
Mm-hmm. Or also without having to set you up for prison.
Mm.
Ah,
When you don't have the necessary connections to the world, you have to connect to the streets. That's the only way to survive and you still alive. So if we can get them this connection, we can keep them out those prisons.
Absolutely, absolutely.
that's one of thank you for bringing that up, because one of the amazing things how we got to meet was and get connected was through the 2020 reentry cohort program that we were both a part of, and that
Right.
was an amazing, fantastic journey. But that also brings up another thing too, is that in 2019, 49% of our clients had some sort of a they were previously incarcerated, and I had the opportunity to talk to several of them and how they have no access, and then when they come out, 15 years being in prison and then being released, and then they don't even know what a laptop or what to call it. And that was just really heartbreaking for me. And that's when I really said, okay, it's time to really take this up to another level. And we need to start creating awareness. Yeah.
That's right, because that was my story was 22 years ago.
Mm.
That's 22 years that right now I can go back to the same neighborhood. There still isn't no connection.
Mm. That's
None.
terrible. That's terrible.
None.
Connection to prisons and streets. That's the only connection they have. That's it. That's the real. That's all they have.
Yeah, there are a lot of poverty-stricken communities here, and the thing is, I mean, I feel like this is part of the reason that we were put in the position that we are in, is to advocate on behalf of these individuals. That's because we deal with a lot of things, particularly coming from these communities firsthand. You have in-depth knowledge. You have a innate expertise about yourself when dealing with a particular population, especially when you come from that population. And one thing that population does is we don't ask for help.
That's right.
So unless we have individuals advocating on behalf of these communities to get them the help they need, because as Jermaine said, when you're used to it, it's a normal life. So we have to go in here and show them that this is not the norm. This is the new norm. So we have to come into the new normal with the COVID-19 pandemic, and that's by having everyone digitally connected.
Right. Well, that brings another point too, is that how many people do not have an email account? How many people don't even have a cell phone, much less a smartphone? And that's one of the things that Cardboard Project is committed to, is creating digital identities. Because that's really the first step before you can even get onto the internet. You need to have an email account, an email address, and so that's really, I believe that's one of the most critical part. The first step is having a digital identity, being able to have an email, a professional one, like
that's right.
A professional one.
When they feel like they have an email, now they feel like they need connection to the internet so they can check that email. You see, once you get the ball rolling, you can start bouncing the ball. Absolutely. But once it's on flat, you can't do nothing with it.
That's good. And it's so funny that you mentioned professional email. Like, that is something that is very important, because if I think about, my emails, my very first email address is like, okay, I wouldn't even say it on screen right now. Now the emails are so professional because it is a connection. It is a way for you to be linked. And I personally had to go through that knowledge and understanding and, pivot and change my email address to, hey, now I really want people referring to is this or this. Let's just do Cooper Shakiri.
My very first email, I said it and couldn't use it or get in it not once because I didn't remember the password. That was too much. I gotta do that. I don't remember that. I kind of did that a couple of days ago. I told you I wasn't raised up with no internet. So I don't, it's still, and then fast as it go right now, we need somebody to connect them with the internet and help them to surf the internet.
Yes.
That's the Cardboard Project, connected with Aes Literacy Institute, and we help them get their education, then they'll be off and running.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit your participants. Do a lot of them rely on their cell phone more so than a laptop, or what's your thought on that?
This is the thing. Currently, our program is not app ready. There isn't a app that allows them to log in. So although you can do it from a cell phone, it's not going to be as efficient as a laptop. And because we understand that, we have created partnerships with other organizations. Shout out to the Y for giving us computers, and shout out to United Way for donating funds that allowed us to purchase laptops for our students. So they have cell phones, but it's not adequate. So what we do is we try to step in and bridge that digital divide right there so that they can get started, because we understand that we are the foundation in a sense. So once they graduate our program, if they don't have a computer or they don't have internet, then honestly, what's the point of going through our program? And that's the truth, because once you graduate, you need to go to college, you need to get a job, you need to do something that will help continue forward progression. So having that technology in their home not only just opens the doors to our organization, not only helps, you know, the Cardboard Project, but it just helps their overall social economic status, because now they're able to search for jobs, they're able to go to college and get that career that they always dreamed of. So it's very important that they have it. So that's what we do here at AES.
That's fantastic. Y'all are doing some amazing work. And
thank you.
Yes, y'all are doing some amazing work, so I appreciate that. And any final comments or you'd like to make as we wrap this up?
My only final comment would be, first, thank you for having us here again. Next comment would be that the digital divide is real. I said that at the beginning, so I will close with that in a sense. It is time that we come together as a community and help alleviate some of these problems that lie within our community, because one helps one and one helps all. So just by helping one person, we don't know what doors of opportunity that we can possibly open. And by providing individuals with both hotspot and or devices, whatever they need to close that gap is absolutely necessary. So let's, pick up this little hectic situation here and close these gaps and help the community, and just watch how our neighborhood is able to flourish even better than before.
I absolutely agree. So thank you again, both of you, for being a part of this, being part of creating advocacy for digital inclusion. And I think our partnership is going to be amazing. We're going to do some really great work together. And also for our viewers, don't forget, North Texas Giving Day is coming up September 17th. And we could use your support, and we could use your donations so that we can make a difference in creating digital inclusion and making sure that everyone is connected, has devices, and learns how to navigate and digital skills. So thank you both for joining me this morning, and have an amazing day. And with that, goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for having us.